All right, welcome on into the NYMD podcast, coronavirus edition or COVID-19 edition.
Yeah,
Your host, Kevin Hurt, Brian Sherrard. I see you're all covered up, B.
yeah, man. This corona got me going crazy, man. But no, we're gonna take this off. We're gonna do this podcast right now.
All right, man. It's crazy out there, homie.
Yeah, man. How you holding up?
I've been at work every day. I haven't been quarantined as of yet, but it's probably coming soon. I think we're gonna have some laws coming out this weekend that's gonna tell everybody to stay home and everything. So we'll see how it works out. But luckily for us, NFL free agency happened because we
Yeah,
would have
man.
nothing else to talk about.
Nah, but we were a little worried last week. Sports is on. There's virtually no sports right now all over the globe. But NFL started business as usual, thank goodness, and it started off with a bang, man. Actually, the Ravens started it off, man, on Sunday, last Sunday, with a trade, with a big trade.
Yeah, with Pittsburgh, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
Stop it.
With like the
Stop it.
rivals trading with each other because real rivalries do that sort of thing.
Okay, really?
Oh, that's not the one you're talking about?
No.
Oh, Calais Campbell.
Yeah, man.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I was thinking about the whole Worley trade, how one team helps another team in the division, and, two teams that really hate each other, that hatred's so real that they made a trade. I got
Really
it.
hurt.
So
Really, that's where you're going with this. That's how you
yeah,
want to start this one.
but that's just what I was thinking about. So I get Calais Campbell was a bigger thing, but tell me how you, since it's for your Ravens, tell me how you feel about that whole trade.
I thought it was a great move, man. Calais Campbell for a 5th-round draft pick.
For a kicker. You got that pick because you traded a kicker who got cut to the Vikings.
Yep.
Who didn't even make their roster.
Right. Then he went to the Jets and got cut too. So
I think he cost them a game. Then he got cut.
Yeah. Yep. So man, the Ravens keep making trades. So look, I love what the Ravens are doing. So in like 6 months' time, they've traded 2 5th-round picks for 2 Pro Bowlers. They got Marcus Peters last season, and they got Calais Campbell. Now Campbell, he's a little older now, but he's still productive.
Yeah, he's like 34, right?
He'll be 30. He's 33 right now, but he'll be 34 once the season starts, I believe. Okay. But yeah, man, he's still doing it, man. And we not only traded for him, but we also extended him. So he has so we have him for 2 years. He's still productive. He's going to provide pass rush that we desperately need. So I'm all for it, man. And look, man, he was the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So he's a good, he's going to be a good teammate,
a
guy.
good dude on the field and off the field.
Yeah, man. So I love it, man. And for a 5th-round draft pick, why not?
Dude, I mean, 5th rounder. Yeah. Again, that you got for a kicker, which is that right there is good enough. But then because Jacksonville's just getting rid of everybody.
Yeah, man, it's like a fire sale in Jacksonville, man. So let's see. Since you bring that up, let's see. They got rid of
they traded a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles is going to be I want to say backing up. He could be taking the place of Maserati Mitch up there in Chicago.
He will be. Yes, he will be replacing.
We'll see how it works out. But the thing is, Nick Foles knows that whole coaching staff. He was with Matt Nagy before. Everybody there, the offensive coordinator, everyone there is familiar with him. So he definitely at least has a chance there to go and hopefully if he stays healthy and plays up there in Chicago.
Do you like that move?
Yeah, for Chicago, yes, definitely. I mean, for Jacksonville, you're going to have Gardner. So Minshew anyway. So why keep Nick Foles? It's just money that you're really. I mean, I think when he came back healthy, they decided to stick with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that move for Chicago because Mitch is not really working out the way that they want him to. Plus, if you're Matt Nagy, you've been there 2-3 years.
This will be his 3rd year.
Yeah, your job's on the line. So you gotta pull out some stops. So I think it was a good trade for Chicago on this, just to get some insurance.
I totally disagree. I don't like the move at all. I'm not a believer in Nick Foles at all. I think for them to make that trade and to take on that contract is crazy.
Well, are you a believer in Maserati Mitch?
No.
No. So then, what would you do at that point?
I wouldn't have traded for Nick Foles. I would have tried. I would have, if I was Chicago, I would have looked elsewhere. I think Nick Foles with whenever he's wearing that hunter green or whatever, he's gold, man. But look at his track record. You take him off the Eagles, he's a subpar quarterback, man.
I mean, he hasn't been great. Quarterback play in general for that team hasn't been great for a while. But again, what are you losing? What are you gaining in getting him? There's a bunch of free agencies. You're not going to sit there and just sign Jameis. You're not going to. Andy Dalton's probably not wanting to go there because he probably wants us to actually go to a place where he could start. Mariota was out there, but he went to the Raiders. So the trade's not bad. Plus, they're familiar with him. That's what makes it somewhat comfortable. And his job's on the line. You can get somebody in there that you may not know in free agency, but you don't know how they're going to pan out. Not saying Nick Foles stays healthy. He could be okay. But if you get to the playoffs, at least, that keeps Matt Nagy's job for another year, and Nick Foles will be there because they have a pretty good defense. They just need someone not to turn the ball over. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like it for them. They didn't really lose too much. You have to make a gamble at this point. But you might as well get somebody that you're familiar with.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, what are some of the signings you like? Well, we got to talk about the biggest signing.
Yes. You're man. Marcus Mariota. I think this is perfect for the Raiders. It gives them a backup to Carr. You can put them in some packages, and who knows? Maybe Gruden can kind of change that whole. We're not talking about that one.
No, hurt.
Okay. Todd Gurley. Going back home to Atlanta is huge. I think people are going to underestimate. Maybe he might be rejuvenated. I have no idea.
Wait a minute.
No idea what happened to.
Wait a minute. We have a comment in the chat here.
Oh, okay. I mean,
nobody cares about the Ravens. Can we get to some Dolphins news?
Okay, well, hold on. Let me break down this move by Todd Gurley to Atlanta. I think it's going to help them out because they released my boy from Florida State, the running back. What's his name? Gosh, I'm terrible with names when I had to think about it. I see his jersey, Devontae Freeman. Yes. So they released him and they signed Gurley, and I think that's going to help them out. They really need to have a rejuvenated year, honestly, because who knows what happened to that team last year? They were nowhere near as good. They started coming on when they changed some things towards the end of the season. Their defense got better. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to take that momentum into the offseason. We'll see. So let's get to some Dolphins news.
Yeah, they've been pretty busy actually, man.
They made who did they just signed Van Noy, the linebacker from New England.
Yeah, they signed Van Noy.
They signed Jones, the cornerback from Dallas.
Yep, Byron Jones. Eric Flowers.
Yes, who last year played with Washington.
Yeah,
he's a guard. They signed him down there. And I mean, they made a lot of moves, and now seems like the AFC East could be open again.
Yeah.
But now my question is, that for all the Dolphin fans listening, one of my day in the Dolphin, as I call them, was complaining that ESPN hates Miami, like hates.
Why? So, why do they hate Miami?
Well, supposedly since Miami had a stranglehold on that division for 20 years. And I was asking, when was that? And that was the 70s, I heard. And I don't remember. It's probably on DVD, but I don't remember the Dolphins dominating the division. Maybe they did. I wasn't alive yet. I'm not sure. But supposedly they did. And so now people at ESPN who grew up, I guess, Jets fans hate Miami because they didn't give them a good grade on their free agency signings. So what do you think about that?
I'm just curious as to what grade they got.
Well, they got a grade that was not favorable at all. Like, so basically they said all the winners in free agency, then there was the Dolphins side. So
all right. Well, let's talk about what the Dolphins have done. I mean, to their credit, the Dolphins now have the highest paid corner tandem in the league.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Well, let me actually. Well, okay. So we'll get into this real quick. Well, we all know we're going to talk about. We got a comment that the Dolphins are America's team, and everyone knows it. I will say they have a great tailgate. I'm not going to lie. So let's from right now, from the moves that have been made in preseason, even though New England doesn't have a quarterback, what chances do you give the Dolphins of taking that division? Or who do you think is the clear front runner for that division, actually?
Okay. As of right now, the draft hasn't happened, right? So we don't, the draft is going to factor into a lot of this.
True.
But, I mean, if we want to talk about this right now, you got to go Buffalo, man. I mean, look what they've done. They loaded up with some defensive players, but they did a stunning trade for Stephon Diggs. Yeah. So they're really trying to give Josh Allen some weapons, man. And going into his third year, man, they're hoping he'll improve. So right now, I mean, I got to give it to Buffalo just for the additions that they made on defense and the trade they made to improve their offense. Now, to the Dolphins' credit, I like what the Dolphins are doing. In all seriousness, I really like what they're doing. They want to compete this year. The Dolphins want to compete this year.
I think they got a good coach. I think they have a good coach.
And I really like Brian Flores, man. Yep. I'm really impressed by that guy. I think in the beginning of the year, they didn't quite have the mentality. I think maybe they were trying to tank for Tua earlier, but in the last half of the season, man, I mean, the Dolphins were playing, man. I remember them playing the Steelers hard. They played the Patriots hard. The first time they faced them in Miami, even though they wound up getting blown out the first half, they played them pretty hard. The first half of the Dallas game, they played them pretty hard. And they wound up beating New England on the last second touchdown,
which cost New England a seed.
Which cost them, cost them a bye. So I say all that to say, I like what the Dolphins are doing. I think what they should do though is they should just let Fitzmagic start from the beginning, but they got to draft their quarterback in the future. They got to draft their quarterback in the future.
So you don't think they should give a chance to Josh Rosen at all?
No, he stinks.
It's only coming up to be his third year.
Yeah, but I don't have any faith in Josh. Nah, you draft another quarterback, man. I don't know if it's Tua. I don't know if you want to trade up and draft Tua, let him sit for a year and just go with Fitzmagic right now. But I don't know. I don't know. But honestly, I like what the Dolphins doing. But I like them more so for their coach, man. I really think they have the right coach, man.
Oh, they definitely do, and they'll be good. I think in the future, they're not even the best team in Florida, honestly. So that has to go to the team that has the biggest splash of free agency. That has to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and who they signed as quarterback.
Wow.
And that was the biggest news. He sent that out on his, Facebook page, saying he will not re-sign with New England. And now he's a swashbuckler. We got Tom Brady's a Buck, man.
It's so weird, man. It's going to be so weird seeing Tom Brady in that Bucs uniform, man. You know what I mean?
Well, mainly because those Bucs uniforms are horrible.
Exactly.
But if they go back to the creamsicle joints, and Tom will look fine in the creamsicle, that newfangled silver, red, black looking crazy, whatever they got going on, is too much. But you put Tom in that creamsicle, you got some.
Yeah. I really like this move. On the earlier podcast, I told you, I said Tom's not going nowhere, man. He's not going nowhere. But I guess I think what happened is I think both sides did the right thing. I think this is the time for the Patriots to move on from Tommy. You're only going to have him for 2 years. He's clearly declining. I mean, he's still productive and he can still get you to the playoffs. But there's got to come a point in time where you say, we got to move on and start looking towards the future. So I like what they're doing. I like the fact that New England said, let's move on. But I also like the fact that Tommy said, look, I still want to play. I'm still productive. He's got a huge chip on his shoulder now because he wants to show the world, hey, I can still play at 43 and 44 years old. I can still make a team a contender at 44 at 43 and 44 years old. So I like the move, man. It's weird. I can actually kind of root for Tommy now, man.
Yeah, I don't feel as antagonistic towards him
Yeah.
like I did before. It's like, okay, well, he is in the NFC, but my team ain't doing anything. So I'm not even worried about them as far as being a contender. But it's kind of fun, and he's going to be in a competitive division. You got Drew Brees, who also re-signed with New Orleans for 2 years, $50 million.
Deal. Yeah.
And you got Teddy. Teddy took over Cam's job.
Yeah,
so
man.
We don't even know where Cam's going to go. So Teddy's now the main man in Carolina, and Atlanta's trying to rebuild down there. So it's going to be a competitive NFC South, and that's going to be this season is going to be really, really freaking fantastic down there.
Yeah, I think
plus Emmanuel Sanders just signed with the Saints.
Yeah, he just signed a 2-year deal with the Saints.
Man, so they're just going to have weapons.
Yeah.
So.
I saw something. I looked at something. I think Tommy is going to face
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. He's going to face Drew Brees twice. Yep. Bridgewater twice.
Yep.
And Matt Ryan twice. Yep. He's going to go up against Pat Mahomes this year at home.
Okay.
And there was another quarterback he was facing at home. I forgot who it was, but I was like, wow, man, Tommy, this is.
Is he going to face Flacco at home?
Oh gosh, Flacco, man. Flacco.
So you think he's going to play again? You think someone's going to sign him as a backup somewhere?
I think there's only one team, and you're going to think you might think I'm crazy. I think there's one team that's a perfect fit for Flacco.
Are you going to say who I think you're going to say?
What? Who?
Washington?
Who do you think? No.
Okay.
Not too far away though. I think Philly, man. I think he'd be a good backup for Philly, man.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, he lives, Flacco from
that area because he went to Delaware.
Yeah. I think he's still a capable backup at this point. The question is, how much are you going to pay Joe Flacco, and does he want to play at such a reduced salary? I mean, he's been making $20 million for the past 6 years. Is he going to want to play it as a backup for $5 million?
Yeah. Does he have that desire? I don't know. Plus, look at all these other quarterbacks that haven't signed yet. Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston. We don't know where Cam's going.
Yep.
Cam's still out there. So it's a whole bunch of guys who need to find places to land.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Herb, because I actually had I wanted to talk to you about this. So we have, you brought up the 4 quarterbacks that I wanted to talk about. And I want to get your predictions as to where you think they're going to go. Flacco, Jameis, Cam, and Andy Dalton. All right. I already told you I think Flacco's going to Philly. Where do you think Jameis is going?
Wow, Jameis.
Well, no, I'm sorry. Start with Flacco, and then we'll go to Jameis.
Yeah, Flacco is going to retire. I think he's going to. I don't think it's in him to sit on the bench and hold a clipboard.
Okay,
it's just not his personality. I think it'd be a good time for him to retire. I mean, you're not going to go anywhere and start. That's just not going to happen. So unless then again, the only place I would say they could sign him could be in Jacksonville. Because if you're going to give it to Gardner Minshew as a starter, Jacksonville's a good place. He's a proven guy. That kind of team, that build that they have, they're still kind of rebuilding. So he goes down. You have experience behind him. But again, he's going to be on the bench. Is he going to be okay with sitting there behind somebody? Because wherever he goes, that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
So we got to see about that. Cam, I see a place for Cam, but I'm not sure how John Elway feels about Drew Lock. But for some reason, Cam fits Denver for me.
Really?
Yeah, I like him in Denver, or he could be a Raider because I think everybody could be a Raider. It's like at some point. But they already signed Mariota and they have Carr, so that's not going to happen.
You know what? I thought Cam would be a good fit at?
Where?
L.A. Chargers.
You think so?
Yeah. They said they want to start Tyrod Taylor, but I thought, why not take a chance on him? They're about to move into a new stadium soon. Former Super Bowl MVP. Why not?
Yeah,
they already have one mobile quarterback,
So, hopefully then they can actually draw some fans. because they couldn't even fill a soccer stadium.
Oh man, yeah.
And
Every game.
all their home games were away games.
I was about to say they played 16 road games last year, man. That's awful, man.
But they need to wear the powder blues. If you wear the powder blues,
Yes.
people will come out and support you more.
Yes, the best unis in sports, by the way.
Because they're going through a change. Because Phillip Rivers is a Colt. I did not see that coming. I did not expect Phillip Rivers to go to Indianapolis 1 year, $25 million.
Yeah. I don't know if that's such a good move. I think Phillip Rivers is done. I mean, you can prove me wrong this year, but I think he's done, man.
But they could free up Jacoby Brissett to being traded back to the Patriots. So,
see, I wouldn't even do that
if you were New England.
No,
like you just get a 7th rounder. I mean, I'm sure they probably just want to get rid of him.
Did they trade him back, or they're talking about trading him back?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Just to have some kind of also experience with the system.
Yeah.
And then when Jacoby was there, he started once or twice, but he won those starts.
Yeah.
But he's familiar with that team. So and again, what are they going to give up to get him? If you just here's a 7th rounder, it's what New England does.
Yeah.
And teams are like, okay, fine, because we're not going to do anything with him. He's not going to start ahead of Rivers. And I'm sure after a year of starting, like he was supposed to be the guy coming in there, he doesn't want to sit there. So at least he can go to New England and compete.
Okay.
But no, San Diego's good because they don't have anybody. But Tyrod Taylor's not the guy.
No. All right, James, where'd you say he was going?
Oh man, dude. This has been racking my brain forever. I have no earthly idea where Jameis will go. There's no one. So in the NFC South, that's taken. I want to see one team that would be. How can I put this? That would do some boneheaded moves, but their regime may be different. But the old regime would have taken Jameis and put him on Washington. But with the coaching staff they have now, getting rid of Bruce Allen, and hopefully the owner isn't involved in all these decisions, hopefully they won't do that because all that is going to just be chaos. So I'm hoping they just stick with whatever plan they have and not sign Jameis. But I really don't see a home for him.
Well, I'm going to tell you where he's going, and this one scares me. He's coming to the AFC North.
No, Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Why would they? Well, first of all, did you see Ben's beard?
No.
Dude, it's a bird's nest. It looked like he went hunting in the wilderness. What was that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
The Revenant.
That's what he looked like. He was out there fighting that bear. Okay. Dude's beard is ridiculous. I was like, what is he on? I thought he got stranded on an island with a volleyball. That's what he looked like. But
well,
he again, I can see him in those colors. And I guess they got to get rid of the duck at some point as a backup. But man, Jameis?
Yeah.
It might work. But what about Detroit?
What's going on with Detroit? Didn't they get rid of a quarterback?
I'm not sure. No, of course, Stafford's still there.
Yeah, that may not be a mad move for them. I didn't think about that.
You say Pittsburgh, which is really, really strong. Just to be different, I'm going to say Detroit.
All right. Andy Dalton, where is he going?
New England.
Okay, so we finally agree. That's where I think
it's New England. I think that's why he's waiting. He hasn't decided to go somewhere because I think San Diego would be a good spot for him too. But I think he's waiting to see if New England calls or if they have called him and just waiting on whatever it is that they're waiting on. But I think New England is a good place for him.
I think and that brings me to my next question too. So ultimately, you think New England's going to start Andy Dalton as a quarterback?
It depends. New England is an organization that comes out and changes things on a daily basis. Again, they could just go trade for Jacoby Brissett. They could draft somebody. Who knows? But if he does go there, he will be starting.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't be surprised though. If the Patriots just try to go with Jacob Statham, man, and see what he does, see what he has. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, that's what they do. They sit there. Garoppolo started there, did fine. Brissett started there, did fine. on their own, a little shaky in some places. But what's his name? I just said his name.
You said
No, the San Francisco quarterback. Garoppolo didn't make it to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, you never know. But again, they still need experience. So, Andy Dalton, if you're going to start Statham, but Andy Dalton would make sense.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's talk about this trade that went down earlier this week, man. I think this was the most shocking thing that happened this week. DeAndre Hopkins gets traded to the Cardinals. And he got traded for a second round pick.
David Johnson,
and I think a fourth round pick. He still has 3 years left on his contract, but as looks like we found out a little bit more about this, it sounds like he may want a new deal. And it also sounds like he may have some issues with the coach. But I'm sorry, Hurt. There's no way when I had this
that's
guy.
what Michael Irvin was saying.
What?
That there was some kind of rift between the two, even though Hopkins has downplayed it. But when Michael Irvin was on with, I think, Stephen A. or someone, he was saying that there were some issues there personally. So
yeah, but come on, man. How do you trade DeAndre Hopkins? And Deshaun, you're getting rid of your best weapon, man, for your quarterback, man. Like I just don't get that.
I feel like David Johnson's on that team the way that they play. His value is going to go up fantasy wise if he stays healthy because he catches a lot of passes out of the backfield.
David Johnson,
yeah,
if he stays healthy,
if he stays healthy.
But
he's
been healthy for 2 years.
The problem is with that team. So DeAndre's there. Who's their other wide receiver?
Well, they signed Randall Cobb. They have Kenny Stills and they have Will Fuller, both of which
Will Fuller,
always on the DL. I mean,
whose hamstrings are silly putty at this point.
Yeah,
he's always hurt, but when he played, he played.
Oh,
none of those guys are A guys. None of those guys are A guys at all. You can't have a bunch of B, C guys make an A receiver. So either you got to go in the draft. I don't know. Their draft position has to be pretty low unless it was something previous. Then again, he's got rid of half of all his draft picks anyway.
Yeah, they don't have any draft picks.
So who are you? There's no one out there to sign. Why are you trading one of the best receivers, one of the top 2-3 in the game, for a running back and a second rounder? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Unless
you're talking to someone in the second round to be a receiver, you're taking away your quarterback's main weapon,
right?
Like a dude on the team. What do you do? I don't get it. He just when you told me he was a GM, also, I'm like he's got to fire himself.
Yeah,
because I don't like that move at all. Nah. It doesn't make sense. Nah. Again, if you got a number one out of it, okay, you know what? Then you can turn that into maybe a guy who could be because it is a deep wide receiver draft. So, but again, you got to make sure that whoever you draft is going to work out.
Right.
But again, it could be a new deal, could be money things. Maybe got money tied up, but that's a hard pill to swallow for that team to me.
Yeah. What did you think about Todd Gurley getting released?
I was not shocked because we don't know who Todd Gurley's been. Like, it seemed like he's been infected with corona for like 2 seasons. I don't know who he's been.
Yeah.
Like the Super Bowl, he barely even played in.
Yes.
Last season, it's a curious case. It's like one of those things where you don't know what happened. Is it they can't even do physicals right now? Right. So, is it physical? What was it? This is his workload he had before because he signed that big contract. He was there, but they didn't even utilize him. Like he would just be on the sideline, and it's not like he was on IR or anything. It was just they weren't using him as much. I have no idea why.
Yeah, well, I think they were just hiding the fact that he was injured. That his knee injuries were more problematic than they led us to believe. I mean, and to the point where they said, look, we got to get rid of this guy. I mean, he still had 2 years left in his contract. You know, their cap took a big hit, and they felt as though they were in better position to get rid of him rather than to keep him. I think his injuries are a big deal, which shocks me even more that Atlanta signed him so quickly, man. And it's kind of weird. Think about what they did. They cut Devonta Freeman.
Devonta, yep.
Devonta Freeman, and picked up Todd Gurley. I mean, Was it?
Well, Devontae has been there for a while, and again, they did go to a Super Bowl with him, but he was mostly in a tandem half the time anyway. So you're taking a gamble on the fact that Todd Gurley does have a better upside than Devontae does, and maybe
Not if
coming
he's
back
hurt.
home. Well, Devontae's been hurt, but Devontae's upside is nowhere near that dominant season Gurley had. So you're just kind of taking a flyer, and you know how running backs are just replaceable these days.
Yeah.
So you're really just taking a flyer. I think it's a 1-year deal that he has there. So you're just taking a flyer, thinking he's coming back home. He's going to be comfortable. Let's see. He's played in the Georgia Dome. Let's see how he does. Honestly, because I mean, they're not putting too much out there for him.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Any other moves, trades, releases, free agency signings that you liked or didn't like?
Melvin Gordon going to Denver.
Yeah, that was a little odd. Didn't see that one coming. He stays in the same conference, the AFC West.
Stays in the same conference, but again, that team had a couple of good running backs. So I know he was more of a touchdown guy. Are you going to split carries with him? I mean, what are you planning on doing now?
Yeah, they have Royce Freeman and of course Philip Lindsay.
Yep.
So
yep, exactly. Rabbit Wolves champions.
Oh,
so Lindsay's been doing good, but they haven't had good quarterback play. So why would you sign Melvin Gordon? Again, unless you're going to have a running back by committee, which almost everybody's doing these days.
Yeah.
And San Diego gave a new contract to Eckler because he had a good good season because he could line up out there wide receiver. So as long as he stays healthy, he's good. But they just need a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, they like what they saw out of Drew Lock when Flacco went down. So we'll see. We'll see what Drew Lock does in year 2. Maybe he'll make that jump.
Yeah, but I don't. I do like Stephon Diggs going to Buffalo.
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was a good move for Buffalo, and they gave up a lot. And when you see what they gave up in comparison to what Houston received, what the Cardinals makes you shake your head even more.
Yeah, I still can't believe DeAndre's out there with Kyler.
Yeah,
and Fitz. That offense is going to be crazy. But
it's going to be a Buffalo, scary team next year, man.
It's Buffalo's division to lose in my eyes. And again, it just depends on what New England puts together and how Miami comes together. If they can find a quarterback, and if their quarterback play comes around there, and the guys who they signed on defense pan out. The Jets are just the Jets. We'll see. Hopefully, there's no mono going on there, and they could be. I still don't believe in their coach. I'm not an Adam Gase fan. But I think Buffalo, after the run they had, they have some kind of confidence, and they're trying to just take it to the next step.
You brought Miami up. I'm going to bring them up again. I totally forgot.
We're Miami-centric today.
Yeah, I mean, Miami, to their credit, man, they do have a ton of free agency signings here. I forgot they have Jordan Howard.
Yep.
He's on Miami.
Yeah,
Emmanuel Ogbah, he's on Miami. So yeah, man, they really want to compete. And one thing about Miami is they have a ton of cap room, and they have like 14 draft picks this year in the draft, man.
$1 billion. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, if they play this right, if they do this right, man, Miami could be competitive really quick, man. So
I'm glad we got feedback so far. We seem to be doing well. It's a good podcast today. But the thing is about Miami, though, in all honesty, is once all this stuff is over, I cannot wait to go down there and go to one of their home games because there's really nothing like it.
Dude,
that's all I care. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care who's going with me. I don't care. I'll go by myself because going down there was a lot of fun.
Well, I just hope that maybe this upcoming season, their win total matches in line with the quality of their tailgates, man. Because
you know what? I don't
awesome.
think that's ever going to happen. That's hard to put those two together, man. That's a lot of pressure. Let's not do that.
Oh man.
Yeah, those tailgates. It's just Those tailgates were remarkable. And it's a nice stadium.
Yeah.
I like the stadium.
Yeah.
It's just the whole area. I didn't even know it was in like that kind of a residential area.
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
walk into it and everything. That was pretty cool.
yeah. That
I
was.
know
cool,
one of
man.
our friends has season tickets for about $50. That goes down there all the time. So I'm definitely going to go down there though.
Yeah,
Definitely
man.
go to a home game. So if he's listening, I'm going to look on the schedule and pick a home game to go to.
All right, man. All right. Well, before we wrap up NFL free agency, anything else that you want to talk about? Anything that stood out?
As far as NFL or anything?
Yeah,
else?
NFL.
No, I think I just like there's going to be a little bit more parity. Like you said, my dislike of Tom Brady went down a lot.
Yeah.
I guess I just want to see how he does. You got to think it's been 20 years of the same place.
Yeah.
And just New England centric. And New England, as kids, New England went to one Super Bowl, got blown out by, the Bears, and that was it. New England wasn't even the football team wasn't even a thought. Then this guy comes around, they go to some Super Bowls, and then next thing you know, they're there all the time. So now he's gone, he's someplace else. Now he's this old. We're at the end of his career. So if he stayed with New England, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. I hate him. I hope they don't do anything. But now he's with Tampa Bay. I'm like, you know what? I hope he could do something, which is weird because it's like that, just a shift. That old guy going out into the sunset. This is 2 years left. We saw Peyton Manning. We've had a good run of seeing great quarterbacks in our lifetime. The ends of Joe Montana's career, the Dan Marinos, the John Elways, just seeing these Randall Cunninghams, just seeing guys like that, the Tony Romos in the broadcast booth, not on the field.
I was about to say
in the broadcast booth. Things like it's just been Brett Favre. Can't forget Brett Favre.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
Yeah, so many others. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is the greatest person ever in the history of life.
Oh gosh.
But it's man, I'm telling you. So we got 2 years, and I'm hoping that he does well down there. He's got two great receivers. He's got Goodwin, and he's got what's his name? Bring it up. Who's the other guy?
He's got Mike Evans, OJ Howard,
Evans,
Cameron Brate.
There you go.
Yeah,
so listen, and other people want to try to go there now. Now people want to try to load that team up.
Yeah.
Make it, the Golden State Warriors football and try to take that team a chip.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's basically it. This my fandom for Tom Brady has changed a bit, and that NFC South is going to be crazy. Yep. And I want to know where Cam's going to go. I really, that's a big thing. Is he healthy, and where is he going to land?
Yep. I agree. All right, well, let's leave the NFL. All right. I would like for you to give us a Corona update on NBA. Apparently, some more players have.
Well, Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics tested positive.
Okay.
A couple of Lakers, we don't know any names, tested positive. Of course, this is something that's nationwide.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, with everything going on, people, just be careful. Stay at home if you can. Wash your hands if you go out. Don't touch your face. No, all these things are real serious because California's in a lockdown. New York is in a lockdown.
Yeah.
A lot of places are being locked down. So if you just go out, if you had to, stay home, listen to all our podcasts while you're listening at home. Why not? We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. As you see, we're on YouTube. We're anywhere you find podcasts, you can find NY2MD podcast. So why not just sit there while you're working and just listen to all our past shows? Because we're at 107 right now. So why not? You have 107 shows to listen to.
Yeah. And the great thing is we don't just talk sports, we talk movies, we talk music, we talk TV. We talk life. So
yes, we talk life. And right now, Corona is life.
Yes.
Unfortunately. But yeah. So let's move on from Corona. Let's talk about the one show that we actually have in common now that's not Game of Thrones, which is over, which was disappointing. Survivor.
Yeah. You know the cool thing about Survivor?
No.
Survivor is like our one sporting event that we can actually watch right now. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it is a sporting event.
I mean, we see challenges, we see social gameplay. So it's almost like a sport. It's weird. When I was gearing up to watch it this week, I was like, it's kind of like I'm gearing up for a sporting event in a way. So
it is because the thing is, you have that anticipation. You're wondering what's going to happen, what moves are going to be made, who's on defense, who's on offense. Who's attacking, who's defending. Who's going to get the fire tokens? Who's going to use the idol? Who's going to win the immunity idol? So all those things. Who's going to have a spy shack? I mean, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Man. So yeah, it is like a sporting event. You're 100% right.
So yeah, what did you think about it this week?
I loved it. It was the only thing else on that I watch that sports is wrestling. And at that time, wrestling was on, but of course there's no crowd. So I'm watching AEW with no crowd, and I'm going back and forth between that and Survivor. And nothing, just Tony, man. Just nothing really surprised me as far as who got voted out and everything, but Tony just needs to. That dude is a ball of insanity, but it's great for the show.
Yeah, I knew Parvati was going home. There was no way she was going to survive that. I know she did her best to to try to have her alliance she did her best to try to get in to flip Nick, but that wasn't going to happen. She did her best. Sandra, she deserved to go home. That was a terrible move. I have no idea what she was thinking. She literally told Denise, she said this, she said, I will give you an idol. We're all going to vote for you. And all you have to do, whatever name you write down is the person you send home. And I was thinking, and when she said that, it's funny because me and Nayla were watching that, and I turned to her. I was like, yeah, that means she could write your name down, Sandra. Like, what are you doing? I just thought she's the biggest threat left in the game. You have an idol. Just play the idol.
Just play the idol.
Like, I think some people just play, and I get it. This is winners at war. I get that. But I just feel like some people are just playing way too hard, man.
Well, they're psyching themselves out. It's kind of like what Rob did last week. I think it's just overthinking. Instead of just kind of playing your game or whatever, they're just kind of, maybe I got to make a move here. Because they're nervous of being sent to redemption. Yeah. Extinction Island. But that's exactly what happened. But Parvati, one of the strongest players, all those fire tokens, she needed to go. Matter of fact, she needed to go like episode 1 or 2. But I'm surprised she lasted this long. But she had to go.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will say this.
But in all honesty, Extinction Island is now jam-packed full of people.
Dude.
So I cannot wait to see what's going to happen and try to get them all back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 players on there now. The merge is coming up. I mean, there are only 12 players left in the game, and as it turns out, there are 3 tribes of 4, so it's nice and even. Mm-hmm. So we are getting a merge soon, and I have a feeling 2 people are going to go back, not just 1. So
okay, yeah, well, yeah, we definitely got to see, but it was pretty good this week. Everything that happened, like you said, I knew was going to happen. Those people needed to go. Sanders, you got to get rid of those players. Those players have to go.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. But it's going to be some surprise. I didn't see the previews for next week coming up. I for some reason, I don't know if there were any, but I just kind of missed
now that you say that, I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah. So I don't know what to look forward to. But I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nothing surprised me. Again, Tony just cracks me up. All the moves everybody made, it was good. It was good. Your boy Jeremy's still there.
Yeah. So, although I was about to kill Jeremy, man, because I was like, dude, you need to leave. You need to roll out now. And when he stayed, I was like, oh no, he's getting voted out. But
that's what I thought too. When he didn't use the whatever advantage of he could leave tribal council, I was a little bit worried. But that's when Denise played those 2 idols.
Yeah.
Played the 2 idols, and bam, I was like, whoa. When she did that, which everybody seemed really shocked, you knew who was going home.
Yeah.
So, or we're going to extinction, going home.
Yeah.
All right, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As you know, the whole country, the whole world is being brought to its knees right now by this coronavirus. The sports world is pretty much on hold. But it's giving us some opportunities to do other things. And I just wanted to know, is there anything that you've been watching, like any movies or any shows you wanted to catch up on, or any old sports games that you watched? I'm just curious. What have you done, or what have you what have you watched since this whole thing went down?
I've been watching the back of my eyelids mostly. So I've been, I've been
Catching up
working
a lot of sleep.
Yeah, I've been working. I'm in the healthcare field as my other job, and as you know, that's full time. That's 24/7, 365.
Right.
So we aren't getting any breaks. I'm not even working from home yet. Hopefully, I will be. So I only got to Netflix one thing, and that was The Irishman.
Oh, The Irishman. Okay.
Yeah. So, which I think you did see, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
seen
I thought you. Oh, okay. I thought you saw that.
So here's the reason why I want to watch it, but the thing's like 3 hours long, man.
It is, and I missed about 20 minutes from sleep, but
Okay.
it was but it
So
was it was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a little too long.
Okay.
I mean, like you said, it is 3 hours. I don't have that attention span right now. It's not like it's an action film. It's not like it's Avengers or something like that. But it was still good enough to keep my attention. And then I was looking up certain people because I don't know the whole story of Jimmy Hoffa. I honestly don't. So it was just a Jimmy Hoffa and the guy that Robert De Niro was playing, and just that whole era, that whole time. So I did make me, because I am interested in all that gangster stuff and what happened to Jimmy Hoffa, because it's really, all we know growing up is that it was, he's this Teamster guy who just disappeared.
Yeah.
So reading about it and learning all the gangster movies that I watch, that's basically all I know. So yes, and The Hunters. You watched The Hunters.
Well, it's funny. Super Jo2 just brought up, y'all need to watch Hunters.
And you started that. Oh, you finished that, didn't you?
I finished it.
Okay. I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to.
So
but thank you for that suggestion.
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much about it. I liked it, but I had some strong opinions about some things in it as well. But I don't want to bring them up until you.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm actually home today. Oh, well, once you can tell, we're not in studio like we normally are. So we're actually quarantined, I guess, like everybody else is around the universe. But I do have toilet paper, so I'm happy about that. Man, I gotta. I'm gonna watch it.
With Super Jo2, it was awesome, but
you have your reservations about
certain things? There were a couple things.
Now, how long are the episodes? They're like 45 minutes, a little bit longer.
About an hour.
Okay. Yeah. Because you know me, I've been watching Picard.
Oh yeah.
Star Trek. So that's a weekly thing, and we're actually coming up to the season finale next week.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think it's like 9 episodes, and I've loved every freaking episode of that. And of course, Star Wars, Clone Wars, the cartoon. Last night had my girl Ahsoka came back.
Okay.
Into the cartoon, so I was pretty happy about that. But yeah, that's basically all. And but those things come out Thursday and Friday, so I really just kind of watch those, and maybe some DC movies, cartoon movies, keep me entertained. So I haven't really been Netflixing and Huluing as much. So
okay, well, I watched another TV show thanks to your recommendation. And
wow, really? Listen to me.
Yeah, and I also want to tell you about some sports that I watched too.
Okay.
So first of all, I binged The Boys.
Oh yes,
I absolutely love that show. Is great. The premise of this show is pretty cool.
It's crazy.
I mean, pretty much
so
the premise,
crazy.
Yeah, the premise is you have superheroes living in present day America, but it's not like. It's like superheroes belong to corporations. It's whole marketing behind them. It's like they actually they pretty much just work for big corporations, and
they're loaned out to different areas. You should have taken the one for Baltimore. You saw what happened.
Yeah, it was the mayor of Baltimore was trying to buy one of the superheroes for like $200 million or something.
But it was too much money. He wanted it for less.
Yeah.
And the guy, the one that they had fits the demographic of Baltimore. Remember, she's like, it fits your demographic.
Right. Yeah, I was like, wait,
definitely a black superhero.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, this is hitting a little bit too.
At least it didn't have him eating like a chicken
close to home.
Like
right.
They had him drinking a half and a half, trying to save people down in like Patterson Park. That would have been a problem.
Oh man. But it was a great show, man. And from the first episode to the end, I loved it, man.
That first couple of minutes just kind of, what the heck just happened?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
And
god.
it was just so good, man. I really liked it. I hope they're doing the season 2. I cannot wait
Yeah,
to see
they're
it.
definitely supposed to be doing it.
But yeah, great show. Great show. Now, sports wise, and I mentioned this on the podcast last week. I said one of the things I wish I could do is see Mike Tyson's old fights.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who this guy is or who this person is, has a YouTube channel, with all of Mike Tyson's fights in order. So I got through like the first 20. Man, it's so fun to watch, man. I mean, all of his fights are on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, man. But Hurt.
Yeah, well, you were on
just
YouTube. So yeah, definitely. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, right.
And of course, StreamYard. Thank you, StreamYard.
Yeah. But man, just go back and watch Mike Tyson's fight. Dude, he was so now granted, the level of competition, especially in the earlier fights, wasn't that great. But I forgot how powerful and strong and how fast he was, Hurt. I mean, his quick. I think the biggest thing that impressed me most about Tyson was his quickness, his hand speed. Like his punches were so quick and powerful. Like people didn't see him coming. They were so fast. And some of the knockouts he has, you remember he had a lot of first round knockouts.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the knockouts, people were just left on the canvas. Like they weren't getting up. It took them a while for them to get up, man.
And some were body shots. They weren't even. I mean, he'd hit you in the ribs, and I seen people just go down.
Yeah.
Like his power, his accuracy. He wasn't a guy who punched and missed a lot.
No.
And most of his punches were power punches.
Yeah. And
he would just come straight at you.
Yeah. And it's like these fights that I'm watching, the dude barely got hit. You know what I mean? Like he barely got hit. Now I did come across 2 fights where he had 2 10-round fights where he went the distance. 2 fights in a row. But before then, I mean, I think his first 15 fights, I think maybe only one person got to the 4th round, I guess. I mean, it was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
He still scares me. Like I said, I know I said this on.
He's a scary dude, man.
He's still, and he has his own podcast.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you gotta listen to it because it's, first of all, just him talking.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
Like he scares me. That's all I can say. Like, there's not too many human beings I would say, like, yo, you intimidate. If Mike just walked into my house, I'd just give him the keys and I'd leave. Yeah. Like, it's just here, homie. Now listen, I'll still pay the mortgage. You can live here, just don't hurt me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's awesome. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, man. So it's just been really impressive. So I'm gonna finish watching his fights. The good thing is his fights are so short; it doesn't take that long to watch these things. You know what I'm saying?
You can actually binge them.
Yeah, it's so fast. But the second thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to look for some Orioles World Series games, the ones I've never seen.
Okay.
So hopefully YouTube has some of that, but I can't wait to just check those out as well.
All I need is Game 7 of the '86 World Series, and I'm fine.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All I need is Jesse Roscoe throwing that glove. I don't think it ever landed.
Yeah. And, well, as I was telling you last night, I first started watching baseball in '84. The Detroit Tigers. The '84 World Series, man, that's what got me hooked in baseball. And then a couple of years later, of course, the Mets. And I remember.
How did you, when watching that, not being a fan of the Mets? I know you're probably rooting against Boston, maybe. But like, how did that World Series? Like, what were your thoughts on that World Series?
I was rooting for the Mets. I didn't have a hatred for the Red Sox.
Yeah, but
I was rooting for the Mets, and they just something. When I was a kid, there's some moments that were just magical to me. And when that ball went under, I'm watching that thing live. When that ball went under Bill Buckner's legs, man, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what was happening. And what was it, Ray Knight or Mookie Wilson? Who scored the winning run?
Ray Knight scored the winning run.
Yeah, Ray Knight. Yeah, dude, it was magical.
But everybody thinks that was the end of the series. That was only Game 6. People forgot that we had to win Game 7
exactly
in order to win the World Series.
Honestly, I don't even remember watching Game 7. I know I did. I just don't remember. I remember Game 6, dude, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So yeah, I was definitely rooting for the Mets back then.
Yeah. Yep. Well, good. Well, you're supposed to. Now you weren't rooting for us when we came to Camden Yards.
All right,
took over.
Please don't bring that up.
I don't know why that still makes you upset. We're friendly though. We're not.
No, it's not. It's not. I wasn't upset at the Mets fans. I hate when Boston Red Sox fans and New York Yankees fans come. I don't mind the Mets. I don't have a dislike for the Mets. You know, I was mad at the Mets for beating us in the '69 World Series, even though I wasn't born yet. But I don't have a hatred for the Mets. The Mets are cool. But yeah, when we went to that game, I just wasn't expecting
us to travel
yards to be overtaken by Mets fans.
It's Citi Field South. That's all it is. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's Camden Yards is the best baseball stadium I've been to. Now, I haven't gone to see Nationals Park yet. So to go see a game there, but I know part of me would be biased towards it because they're, of course, in my division and, you know, them winning the World Series and everything, which is good for them. But I would be biased towards it. I love going to Camden Yards. I just love walking around. I just love that stadium. I love the vibe and everything. So that's my type of place.
All right.
But yeah, so Citi Field side, plus it's cheaper for us to come down there and watch a game than it is to go to Citi Field, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't have too much time left on this podcast, but one of the things that we should be doing right now, we should be getting ready for the second round of the NCAA tournament games, man. And we don't have that. We will probably be doing this podcast watching, you know, got a whole bunch of monitors in front of us watching multiple games at the same time. But we can't do that. And for good reason. You know, we gotta stay safe, keep the country safe, and make sure that we flatten the curve. That being said, that got me to thinking we can still have brackets. And I want to hear your Final Four bracket of your favorite or the best games that you feel are the best NCAA tournament games of all time. Just your top four.
All right. So mine, I've been watching sports forever. So mine go back a long ways. But
now, are these games that you've seen? I want these to be games.
Oh, yeah. No, not games that I've looked up, like games that I actually remember watching.
All right, cool.
NC State versus Houston.
Okay, what year was that?
84? 83, 84?
Okay.
I remember because I was watching it with my mom. My mom loved college basketball. So, and I remember that game because she was rooting for Jim Valvano and NC State. Because they were a Cinderella. They had no business being there. And then beating Phi Slamma Jamma with Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler. So that's definitely in my Final Four.
Okay, you're right. That was 83.
Okay, so that was definitely my Final Four. My other game in my Final Four would be, it's got to be UMBC.
Beat Virginia.
I mean, the first team ever to beat a number one, which is Virginia, which is also who ended up the next year winning the championship, which is weird. But the first 16 beating a one in a local school and just the way the news covered it. And then I actually going to the UMBC Center now for wrestling events all the time, just seeing that banner there every single time I walk in there and going to a somewhat small school myself after we beat Louisville.
What does the banner say?
It says UMBC receivers first 16 won. Okay. You've been there. You never saw it?
No, I should know. My only goes to the school, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I've only been on campus like a million times.
But no, it's right there. As soon as you walk in, it's the first thing you see.
Okay.
But it's such a cool thing. So that's definitely my Final Four. Okay. University of Maryland winning the national championship. Yeah. It's memorable to me because how much it meant to you.
Yes.
So that game was just so cool. I remember the year before it was the Final Four and they lost. I remember how devastated you were.
Yeah.
In that game. Look, your face changed automatically. I know, but you won the championship after that, and you don't have to relive that.
I don't
relive the championship moment. Okay, relive the championship moment.
Yeah, they played a team that shall not be named.
Yes, and
even though I will name them later. Ugh.
And I think it was 85 or 84, 85, Villanova, Georgetown.
Okay.
My mom was a Georgetown fan. The Final Four that year had 3 Big East teams, I believe. It was St. John's, which I was a St. John's fan, Chris Mullin, Mark Jackson on that team. Brawley Massimino, Villanova Wildcats. They're like a 10 seed. They were low. I can't even remember exactly. I forgot where they even finished in the Big East that year. But they upset Georgetown. Patrick Ewing left, Georgetown without winning a championship. It was no one expected that. I think Georgetown dominated Villanova throughout the whole Big East season, and losing the championship. And And ever since then, Villanova has been in power. Jay Wright has, they've won a couple championships, but that's my Final Four.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you my Final Four. This may surprise you.
Okay.
But as you know, number one, Maryland versus Indiana. What was that 2002 championship game? It was, dude. It was awesome, man. For so many years, man, Maryland came close. In the sense, they would go to the Sweet 16. They got to the Final Four the year before and lost to Duke after they had like a 22-point lead against Duke. And for them to come back, dude, and they beat freaking Indiana. And the crazy thing is, when they beat Indiana, they had to beat all the top seeds to get there. They had to beat Kansas. They had to beat Connecticut.
Yep.
I forget some of the other teams they beat, but it was not an easy path. In their bracket, they had to beat all the top seeds in that bracket, man, to get there, and they did it, man. The crazy thing is the game really wasn't that great of a game. I think it was like 64 to, I forget the score, like 61 to 54, 62 to 54.
No, the game was an ugly game.
Yeah, but dude, it was never in doubt. Maryland's defense was great. I remember Juan Dixon hitting some key shots, man. It was just, oh man, it was beautiful, man. Oh, it hurt. It was so beautiful. And it was just it's so hard. I don't think people understand, man, how hard it is to win a college basketball championship, and for Maryland to finally get to the mountaintop, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. My second favorite game, this may sound crazy, 1995 UCLA versus Missouri, man. The Tyus Edney game, man.
Oh, that was that. How did he drive down the lane and get that layup?
That's the thing, and that's the thing that amazed me. It's weird because in retrospect, I see these NBA players like go down the court in like 3 seconds. But at that time, because I think it was only like maybe 6 seconds or 7 seconds left on the clock, and he drove full court and hit that layup, man. And I was like, how did he do that? How does a guy get down there so fast? But it was awesome. That was just like one of those magical moments. Being that game will always stand out. I watched that game live. I was just in awe, man. I could not believe it, man. And then his teammate had to go ruin it for everybody else.
Oh, that'll be. Chris, someone just put out, the cover of this year's NCAA 2021 would be Joe Burrow right now. Like that, and I could not wait. I'll be waiting to pick that game up and go recruiting on that thing. I'm still upset about that, man. God. It was my favorite game. Like, forget Madden. College football was my favorite game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just recruiting, and building empires, a dynasty. I wasn't always Florida State. I tried to build other programs up. So that was pretty cool.
All right. Well, these last two memorable games to me both involve Duke, and unfortunately, both involve Duke wins.
Okay. That makes Dr. R. Scott happy. I'm sure she's still there. The one against Butler?
Duke versus Butler, man.
Okay. I was going to put that on there, but the outcome of it wasn't what I wanted either. Even though that shot, I swear that shot was going to go in. Dude.
I thought it was going in, dude.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
I was like, it was online, too. It was like, just go in.
So close, man. So close. But that game, it was an awesome game. No, Butler went to the national championship game and got a shot within beating Duke. It was a great game. If I remember correctly, I think Butler had to make like a late run to even get back into the game. I mean, it wasn't a high scoring game at all.
But Duke had the lead throughout the thing. But you're right. The Butler towards the end was coming back, and that
they had the ball in their hands for the last shot and just missed. It was still a great game, even though the wrong team won, but it was still a great game. And then 1992, Duke versus Kentucky, man. Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, another magical moment.
Yeah.
That last 2.1 seconds seemed to go on forever.
Oh, because it did.
I'm not convinced they
how mad I was? Not like I like Kentucky either. But just that whole get the ball, fake, turn around, and then hit that jumper. And like you said, that was like the longest 2 seconds in the history of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
I
was.
still don't know
was
how
cool.
that pass got to Christian Laettner, man. I still don't know how.
Right in front of, I think it was Farmer. I think Farmer was guarding him, and they got that ball, and that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. But yeah, it's memorable. I don't know if they were enjoyable. That was not enjoyable. So
Man, I don't know what's going on. You transferred your headphones to me or something. They keep popping up.
listen, that's why. Listen, homie, that's why you got to invest. That's why in Valentine's, every time we're just sitting there doing the podcast, like pink, every single time, I'm like, oh, it's like, sorry, everybody. So now that's not going to happen. So I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, those are games. And what I was reminded of too is just how, like, I know the UMBC win is magical. All the little schools. I remember Iowa State losing to Hampton.
Yeah.
When Iowa State was a 2 seed. I think Hampton was a 15 seed. That was a magical run. The magical run of Loyola Marymount after Hank Gathers passed away.
Yeah.
Bo Kimball, he was making left-handed free throws like that. Just
you know what? You just reminded me one of my favorite games of all time. Coppin State versus South Carolina, man. Antoine Brockington, man, lit them up. That was a great game. Great game.
Yeah, Frank Mitchell, man.
Yeah. Number 2 beat a 15 seed, man. Number 15 beat a 2. That was a great game, man.
Yeah. Just so many moments, so many memories. And you're right. Like this weekend should be amped. We should be hyped. After Thursday and Friday, we should be hyped.
Yeah.
For what we're having. Florida State would have been a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, we finished number 4 in the country. We could have been number 1 in the Southeast region. That would have been cool.
Yeah, man.
I think that number 2 seed down there probably would have been Dayton, because they had a strong team.
Yeah, Dayton was good, man. Oh yeah.
But we're not gonna. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get that. But we can still remember how the tournament affects it, and it'd be much bigger next year.
Yeah.
So, because I know I miss it. I'm gonna look forward to it. I'm taking the whole day off. we're gonna just stream that whole day. We're just gonna go somewhere and say we're just gonna do a live stream of just NCAA games. Listen to Jim Nance. We're going to have one shining moment again, and we're going to enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah. So. Well, Hurt, man, it's been fun, man. This is our first live stream, and thanks for all who joined the live stream and participated in the chat, man. It's been fun. If you like what you saw, please come back.
Subscribe.
Subscribe
to our YouTube channel. Of course, you can follow us everywhere. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. And the YouTube at NY to MD Podcast. And of course, if you want to just listen to us, which I mean, pretty handsome, so you can still see me on YouTube. But you can also just get us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and Stitcher apps. Wherever you get your podcasts, you will find NY to MD Podcast. So, and we thank everybody. Please be safe. Please stay indoors.
Please
get your TP, stay inside, and binge watch something. The Hunters. Other shows, anything that you want. The
Love
Boys.
Hey,
yeah.
It's a good time to watch Love is Blind. Catch up on Love is Blind. Yeah.
On that note, we will see you next week.
All right, everybody. Stay safe.